Welcome back to the Bible. It has been my delight to educate and to make room for discussion with our Muslim brothers and sisters about our difference in faith. This is not to bully, condemn, nor annoy them, but to preach Christ's message and uphold what is the real truth, as Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. In this video series I'm going to explain comprehensively the difference between the Solomon of the Bible and the Solomon of the Quran. Let's get into it. In Quran, Solomon is called Sulaiman or Sulaiman, while in Hebrew is referred to as Shlomo. The Quran admits Solomon as king and prophet, and messenger of Allah, who was divinely appointed as a monarch. The Bible does not hold this same view. The Bible and Christian believe Solomon to be a king and not a prophet. In this video series I'm going to show you 7 differences I noticed between Solomon of the Quran and that of the Bible. Number 1. Solomon prayed to build a kingdom. The Quran said Solomon inherited his position from his father as the prophetic king of the Israelites. The Quran states that Solomon prayed earnestly to God to grant him a kingdom which would be greater than any realm before or after him. Unlike in the Bible, where Solomon was granted an incomparable realm because God was impressed by his wish to have wisdom. According to 2 Chronicles 1 verse 7. In that night did God appear unto Solomon, and said unto him, Ask what I shall give thee. Then Solomon replied in 2 Chronicles 1 verse 10-12. Give me now wisdom and knowledge, that I may go out and come in before this people, for who can judge this people, that is so great? And God said to Solomon, Because this was in thine heart, and thou hast not asked riches, wealth, or honor, nor the life of thine enemies, neither yet hast asked long life, but hast asked wisdom and knowledge for thyself, that thou mayest judge my people, over whom I have made thee king. Wisdom and knowledge is granted unto thee, and I will give thee riches and wealth, and honor, such as none of the kings have had that have been before thee, neither shall there any after thee have the like. Number 2, Solomon didn't commit idolatry. Islam believes that an enslaved jinni, demon, escaped his captivity and took over his kingdom and posed as Solomon, while others thought indeed that he became a ruthless king. In case you don't know what a jinn is, let me help you out according to the English dictionary. A jinn is a spirit, lower than the angels, who could appear in animal or human form and influence men. Surah 2 verse 102. And they followed what the devils taught during the reign of Solomon. It was not Solomon who disbelieved, but it was the devils who disbelieved. They taught the people witchcraft and what was revealed in Babil, i.e. Babylon, to the 2 angels Harut and Marut. They did not teach anybody until they had said, We are a test, so do not lose faith. But they learned from them the means to cause separation between man and his wife. But they cannot harm anyone except with God's permission. And they learned what would harm them and not benefit them. Yet they knew that whoever deals in it will have no share in the hereafter. Miserable is what they sold their souls for, if they only knew. According to Islam, it is one of the jinn that was enslaved by Solomon that actually escaped from Solomon, and poses itself as Solomon to deceive many that it was actually Solomon whom disbelieved or go astray in worshipping idol, which means Solomon did not commit idolatry, but the devil did. The Christian and the Bible hold the view that as Solomon gets old his heart was turned away from God due to the foreign wives which he married, therefore, Solomon permit them to erect strange idols and gods while Solomon join in worshipping them. According to 1 Kings 11 verse 4-6. For it came to pass, when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as was the heart of David his father. For Solomon went after Ashtoreth the goddess of the Zidonians, and after Milcom the abomination of the Ammonites. And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord, and went not fully after the Lord, as did David his father. Number 3, Solomon can speak to birds. Islam believe that Solomon was given the power to communicate to animals such as birds. Surah 27 verse 16 said. And Solomon inherited David. He said, O people, we have been taught the language of birds, and we have been given from all things, this is evident bounty. No doubt God made Solomon the wisest man in his time, but that does not come with the ability to communicate with animals. The Bible never makes mention of Solomon speaking to any creature, talk less of knowing the language of the birds. Number 4, Solomon have spiritual abilities. According to Islam, Solomon was also known to have other supernatural abilities bestowed upon him by Allah, after a special request by Solomon himself, such as controlling the wind, ruling over the jinn, enslaving demons, and hearing the communication of ants, according to Surah 34 verse 12. And to Solomon we made the wind obedient, its early morning stride was a month's journey, and its evening stride was a month's journey, and we made a font of molten brass to flow for him, and there were jinns that worked in front of him, by the leave of his Lord, and if any of them turned aside from our command, we made him taste of the penalty of the blazing fire. Surah 27 verse 18 to 19 reads, And at length, when they came to a lowly valley of ants, one of the ants said, O ye ants, get into your habitations, lest Solomon and his hosts crush you, underfoot, without knowing it. So he smiled, amused at her speech, and he said, O my Rab, which been interpreted as Lord. So order me that I may be grateful for thy favors, which thou hast bestowed on me and on my parents, and that I may work the righteousness that will please thee, and admit me, by thy grace, to the ranks of thy righteous servants. The Bible never talks about God giving Solomon some spiritual abilities to talk with the jinn, which is demons, neither did the Bible ever recorded it that Solomon communicate with an ant. The wind was never under the control of Solomon as the Quran claimed. The only person that can actually do this is Jesus Christ. According to Luke 8 verse 22 to 25. Also Solomon can't possibly be speaking to jinn, demons, neither can he enslave demons as the Quran claimed, because the Bible is clear on its stand when it come to foul spirit, demons, familiar spirit. God instructed the children of Israel never to have anything to do with them according to the Bible, thou shalt not suffer, permit, a witch to live. Exodus 22 verse 18. Number 5, evil spirit, jinn, help Solomon build the temple of God. The jinn helped strengthen Solomon's reign, and the unbelievers among them along with the shaitan were forced building for him monuments. God also caused a miraculous fount or spring, of molten brass or copper, to flow for Solomon, to be used by the jinn in their construction. The Quran contradict the Bible on this view. The holy temple of God which King David would have actually built but was rejected by God, because David's hands is filled with blood, was never built with the help of demons, jinn. As a matter of fact, the Bible is clear on its stand when it comes with demons. Leviticus 19 verse 31. Regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards, to be defiled by them, I am the Lord your God. And also the Bible is clear in the use of sorcerer, diviners, magician, astrology. For the Bible also condemn the act or whosoever uses such. 2 Corinthians 6 verse 14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness? Therefore, it will be a blasphemy if the Quran claims that the temple of God was built by the jinn, which means attributing the work of the Lord to the demons. It will be noteworthy that the preparation of the kingdom and the temple was never with the help of jinn, demons. Before David died he has made enormous preparation for the construction of the temple of God. 1 Chronicles 22 verses 3, 4, and 14. And also human agents were used in building the temple, not demons as the Quran claimed. People were used according to 1 Chronicles 22 verse 15. Princes were used according to 1 Chronicles 22 verse 17. Strangers were also used according to 2 Chronicles 2 verse 1 to 18. Number 6, jinn, demons, are part of Solomon army. According to the Quran the jinn are very important part of the Solomon army, which form a large part of his army. According to Quran, and gathered for Solomon were his soldiers of the jinn and men and birds, and they were marching in rows. In the biblical sense, it was never possible for believers to mingle or have fellowship with foul spirits, or familiar spirit. We can also learn in the case of Saul, the first king, that went to seek what shall before him in battle, by invoking the spirit of Samuel from the grave. After that event he never succeeded in battle, because God has warned Israel never to have anything to do with such foul spirits. Therefore, it will be incorrect of the Quran to say the Solomon of the Bible is actually same as the Solomon of the Quran, except maybe the Solomon of the Quran was invented. 2 Corinthians 6 verse 14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness? Number 7, Solomon death. The Quran relates that Solomon died while he was leaning on his staff. As he remained upright, propped on his staff, the jinn thought he was still alive and supervising them, so they continued to work. They realized the truth only when Allah sent a creature to crawl out of the ground and gnaw at Solomon's staff until his body collapsed. The Quran then comments that if they had known the unseen, they would not have stayed in the humiliating torment of being enslaved. According to the Quran, the death of Solomon was a lesson to be learned, Surah 34 verse 14. Then, when we decreed Solomon's death, nothing showed them his death except a little worm of the earth, which kept, slowly, gnawing away at his staff, so when he fell down, the jinn saw plainly that if they had known the unseen, they would not have tarried in the humiliating penalty of their task. But from the biblical sense, such event never occurs. As a matter of fact, King Solomon died a natural death, and the demons never work for Solomon as claimed by the Quran. From the lens of love, I think have been able to draw the real difference between the Quran and the Bible on the claim about King Solomon. Thanks for watching. Stay blessed. Don't forget subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not done so. Share this video to your friends, families, and social media. Like this video. And if you are not in agreement with this video, please leave a message in the comment section down below. Let's discuss and not argue. Remember, God loves you and I love you too. Bye for now.